What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another video for you where I am going to be suggesting 5 clubs I think you should look into managing and rebuilding when FM23 is released. Yes, we have that date now. It's November the 8th. We know when the game is going to come out, and you surely now are considering what team you want to go out and manage first when the game drops. Well, I have got some suggestions for you. If you want to go manage in France in Ligue 1, I have 5 teams that I think are worth your time to have a rebuild. Let's jump into them and let's see who is at number 1. Okay, then we are going to start our journey off to France. 4 teams that you should consider rebuilding by dropping in at OGC Nice. Before I explain why I think Nice are a candidate to be rebuilt in FM23, I have to give a shout out and some credit to the Notorious Pro and FTMU, the creators of the database you're about to see. For this video, I will be using a database that has been advanced by a year. Essentially, we are running FM23's database in FM22. All of the transfers up to the 2nd of September are live. If you want to have a go at this database, you can download it by going to the link in the description down below. Right then, back to OGC Nice. In real life, Nice have become a bit of a funny club. They are a team that went a little bit Premier League mad in the summer transfer window. They signed Kasper Schmeichel, they signed Ross Barkley, they went and signed Aaron Ramsey. Bit of a weird combination of players that they have put together, but obviously they are looking for experienced players who can go and contribute with the youth team that they pretty much have, because they have a lot of younger players that they are looking to bring through into the first team. Looking at them as a whole though, their media prediction to finish 6th. They have an estimated value of £55.69 million, so certainly not in league with the big boys. Nobody obviously is with PSG. Looking at continental competition, UEFA Conference League, so they have at least European football. They have a 3.5-star reputation, 4-star training facility, 4-star youth facility, 2.5-star youth recruitment. They play at the Allianz Riviera in Nice. It's a 35,624 capacity stadium. Doesn't look like there is much room for expansion, so not too sure they will be getting that anytime soon. Looking at their key employees, their captain is Dante. They don't have a vice captain. Kasper Schmeichel has gone there as key player, and their hot prospect is B. Buonanni, who is French. So into the finances then. What can you expect when you take over? They have £30.7 million in the bank. 12.8 of that will be available to you for transfers. They are spending their entire wage budget of £648,064 per week. So a decent enough wage budget, and the transfer budget is there for you to start the rebuild. If you could move 1 or 2 players on, I think you could even enhance that a little bit more and kick off with a great save. Looking then at the squad, it's not the biggest. We have filtered it out so that players who are not at the club do not show. So there are a few more, but they are out on loan at the start of FM23. So running through them then, you've got Kasper Schmeichel, Marcin Bulka in goal. You've got Dante, Vitti and Todibo as centre-backs. You've got Atal, Bard, Latomba, Schneiderlin, Rosario, Thuram, Becker, Lamina, Bouadoui, Ramsey, Diop, Trier. You've got Brahimi, Dacuna, Laborde and Delort up top. So not a massive squad. As I said, they have got some players there that are a little bit out of left field. You've got like Aaron Ramsey, Ross Barkley should be there, but I think he signed after the 2nd of September, so it doesn't show. But definitely in the proper database he will. Yeah, a lot of youth players, 2021, 2021. When you run down the list, they've got 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and then they've got Dante is 37, Kasper Schmeichel is 34, Aaron Ramsey is thrown in there at the age of 30. Obviously played for a lot of big clubs. I think they're an interesting prospect. I think you're going to have to go in there with an open mind. Try and sign players that will fit in with the ethos of the club maybe initially. Get the rebuild up and running, and then once you're flying, you'll be able to sign pretty much any player that you want. Squad is small. You're going to need to spend cash. I think they're an interesting prospect, and I certainly would look forward to having a go at rebuilding Nice. The second team then on the list of teams to rebuild in France in FM23 is Toulouse. They're a team that have just come back into the big time. Yes, getting promotion in 2022 in real life back to Ligue 1. They were cruelly relegated when the season got cut short in 2020, but they have now managed to get back into Liga 1. Recently, they had Redbird Capital invest in the club. I think they bought around 80% of the club, so that investment will come, but it probably won't come quick enough to help you in FM23. Looking at the club, you are going to see why they are a candidate to be rebuilt. It says media prediction of first. Don't be fooled by that. That is based on FM22, so they would have been in 21-22 trying to get out of League 2. They did it and they are back in Liga 1, I assure you. Looking at their club value, it's £13.6 million. Their reputation is 3-star. Training facilities 3.5-star. Youth facilities 3.5-star. Youth recruitment is 2 stars. Looking at their stadium, it's simply called Stadium Toulouse, and it's a 33,000 capacity stadium. Probably doesn't need expanding, but you can always ask the board and try and get them to do it. Looking then at their key employees, and I apologise if I butcher names in these videos. I really do struggle with some of the pronunciations, but I will give it my best shot. So your captain will be AJ Auxerre. You've got vice captain of Dupe. You've got key player of V. Bermank, and then you've got hot prospect is Steve Mavue. Either way, those are the players that are going to carry you into your first season. Looking at the finances, 7.8 million in the bank, 1.7 million pounds available to you. Wage budget is fully spent at 107,000. This is by far one of the smallest budgets I've seen in any league in FM23. I know that the finances might not be 100% accurate, but you're going to really struggle with a £107,000 wage budget when we have players in England who get more than that in a single week. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult task, and that is the reason that they are on the list. If we go to the squad and we filter out the players that are not at the club because they are out on loan, you can see that you do have a decent enough sized squad. Whether you've got the quality to compete in Liga 1 is another story. So you've got Haig, Dupe and Isaac Pettersson in goal. You've got Nicolaisen, Costa, Roalt, Desla, Diarra, Silla, Zanden, Mavue, Jaguar, Spearings, Genru, Vanden Boomen, Berman-Sevic, Rato, Abu Kalai, Onewu, Flemings, Delinga, Bergrau and Reece Healy up top. So interesting to see they have an English forward up top. Reece Healy, let's show you a little bit about him. There he is. He started his career at Connors Quay in Wales, worked his way through at Cardiff, played at MK Dons and then ended up at Toulouse. Interesting career path for him. You also have some other nationalities in the squad: Jamaican, Japanese, Moroccan, Brazilian, Australian, Cameroonian. It's a bit of a mishmash of a squad. Obviously, they were fighting to get out of Division 2 the previous season, so whether they could strengthen the squad in the summer was a question of what money was there. It doesn't look like there was a lot of money there, and that is one of the reasons why I think they'll be a prime candidate for a rebuild. You're going to have to judge whether you need to sell players, to buy players, whether you've got enough money for the wages. It really is going to be a juggling act to get Toulouse firing on all cylinders. If you think you're up to it, let me know in the comments section whether you can achieve it. Next, we are going off to AJ Auxerre, another team that have just been promoted back to Liga 1 in real life. They went up third from Liga 2. They were promoted via the playoffs. Another difficult task ahead. Not the biggest team, not the biggest in terms of financial power, but I think first season back in Liga 1, they could have a real shot at being like a mid-table team. If you go in and enhance that and make them even better, that'll be the reason why I think you should have a go at the rebuild. Looking at the club information then, so the media prediction again is predicting 4th. That is not realistic. That is a media prediction that is based on the 2nd division. Their estimated value is £22.27 million. Reputation is 3 stars. Training facility is 4 stars. Youth facility is 4 stars. Youth recruitment is 1 star. They play at the Stade Abbey des Champs in Auxerre. It's a 19,154 capacity stadium and it has lots of room for expansion. So go and hit the board up and tell them you want an expansion on the stadium. Looking at the club and their key employees, so you've got Birama Touré as captain, you've got Benoit Costil as your goalkeeper, and you have as a hot prospect Ruiz Atil, who is French but has Barcelona kit on, so he has a decent amount of talent. Well, let's have a look then at the finances at the club. They have £12.5 million in the bank. They have £855,000 of that available to you as a transfer budget, £223,000 as a wage budget, and they're spending all of that. So it's more wages than Toulouse, but you have less in terms of transfer budget. It's again a juggling act of what do you do? Do you go and spend the money on players? Do you try and use the players you've got at your disposable at the start? Do you sell players on? Do you move the wage budget, or do you increase your wage budget by moving the transfer budget and going without for the first season? It really is a big challenge, and these are the reasons why I love promoted teams as challenges for rebuilds on FM. Looking at your squad then, so you've got Costil, Leighton, Leon, Jubel, Janvier, Pelnard, Revolson, Coef. You've got Bain, Mensah, Bernard, Boto, Touré, Changama, Saki, Perrin, Atil, Auxerre, Hein, Da Costa, Signaco, Charbonnier, Niang, and Dugimont. So you have a lot of players here who are probably in the prime of their career. You've got some that are probably waiting to be moved on. Players like Dugimont at the bottom, 35. They're probably not going to have too many days left at the club. They're certainly not the future. You do have Kays Ruiz Atil, who is only 18, so he probably is going to be the future of the club if you can hang on to him. You've got some decent 20-something players as well. It's a big enough squad for you to build upon. I think that they're a really interesting save and an interesting team to try and have a rebuild with. Again, those finances, whether you juggle them well, the players you can get in, can you hold on to your best players? I think they're a cracking shout at a rebuild in FM23. The next team on the list are a bit of a favourite of mine. I think they're a bit of a favourite of everybody, to be honest. It's AS Monaco, a team that at one point were a massive, massive club. In recent years, they have kind of fallen away, but they have developed players like Kylian Mbappe. Anthony Martial came from there. They have also had big players that they have signed. Players like Radamel Falcao were playing there. I think they're a team that have accepted that the PSGs of the world are out of their league, but they can have an influence in the league if they invest well and they develop through youth. So I think that is what makes them an attractive proposition for a rebuild. If you build upon your youth and you can recycle players and maybe sell them on at a decent amount of money, I think you can turn them into a success. Let's have a little look at them in general then. Their media prediction is third. Their estimated value is 166 million. They have Champions League football. Their reputation is 4 stars. Their training facility is 4 stars. Their youth facility is 4 stars. Youth recruitment is 2.5. They play at the Stade Louis II in Monaco. 18,521 capacity. And up until recently, it had held nearly every Super Cup between the European Cup winners and the Europa League winners. And now they have started to put it on rotation. But I remember Liverpool winning at that ground not too long ago. Looking at them then, in terms of your key employees, you've got Wissam Benietta, you've got Axel Disasi, you've got Benietta, who's your key player, and Efekele is your hot prospect. Looking at the finances and what you can expect, 117 million in the bank is a nice amount. 12 million of that is available to you, so you're going to have to try and pump that up a little bit, I think, by selling players or flipping players by buying them and selling them at a higher value. Wage budget is 996,000 and you are spending every single penny of that currently. I think Monaco, in terms of stature, as I said, realise they can't compete with PSG, but they can compete for the best of the rest, and that is firmly where they are at in real life. Looking at the squad then, as I said, they have loads of players that have great potential and have been playing at a high level. If you look at the squad, when you filter out the players that are on loan or on trial, you practically don't have a squad because they have both of their goalkeepers on loan. You've got Dylan and Nubel. Alexander Nubel is a fantastic player. I think he's so underrated in FM22. If he's as good in FM23, he will probably be a bargain in that as well. You've got Axel Disasi, Badi Sheely, Maripan, Malang Sarr, who's played for Chelsea, Vanderson, Aguilar, Kao Enrique, you've got Matazzo, Jean Lucas, Yusuf Fofana, you've got Crepin Diatta, Ishmael Jacobs, Mohamed Kamara, Kevin Volland, Breland Bolo, Takumi Minamino, who's their summer signing from Liverpool, Gelson Martins, Alexander Golovin, you've got Myron Bayardou, you've got Goebbels, and you've got Wissam Benietta. So again, they are a young team, and you could see the blueprint for what they are trying to do. I don't think they've got many players over the age of 30, if any. I don't think they actually have any over the age of 30. So they're a team that are based around youth, based around recruitment and getting players in, developing them and selling them on for a high profit. That makes them an interesting prospect, because do you keep the players that you are developing, or do you sell them on for bigger money and try and buy players and invest in the squad? That's a decision you're going to have to make if you rebuild Monaco on FM23. Finally on the list is Lille, and this is a team that I don't want to throw in for any reason other than the fact they look an absolute fantastic prospect for a rebuild. They look like they are going to be so fun. They have a good squad, they have a good infrastructure, they have everything you need to get success in Football Manager. Let's have a quick look at them then. So media prediction of 5th. They have an estimated value of £173 million. Reputation is 3.5 stars. Training facilities are 4 stars. Youth facilities are 4 stars. And a youth recruitment of 1.5 stars. So it's saying that basically they don't recruit well from young. But I think you'll be okay. You can invest in that if you want to. They play at the Stade Pierre Mauroy in Villeneuve d'Ascq. I think that says d'Ascq. Their stadium was built in 2012, so it's in very good condition. It has a capacity of 49,834. Obviously, they have had some big players come through at Lille in the past, players like Eden Hazard. They also had the mighty Joe Cole go and play there once. Yeah, not too sure we'll class him in the legends. In terms of the players that are there currently, you have Jose Font as your club captain, former Southampton player. You have Andre as vice captain. Bamba is your key player, and Diakite is your hot prospect. He's wearing a Toulouse shirt. Looking at the finances then, see why this looks like an interesting build. So you have £17.1 million in the bank. 14.5 of that is available for you to spend. 476,000 of that money there is wage budget, and you are spending all of that when you start the game. Now again, obviously this database is a custom database. Not too sure if these figures are right, but if they are roughly accurate, it would be interesting to see if you can start building a team with £14.5 million that already has a decent squad. Looking at that squad then, you've got Leo Jardim in goal. Jakubec is with him. Jose Font, Diakite. You've got Jallo, Ismaili, Zedaka, Goodmanson, Andre, Jonas Martin, Yazici, Zegrova, Kabaya, Remy Kabaya. He's the player who played for Newcastle, is he? Yes, he's the player who went to Newcastle for a season. Interesting to see that he has popped up at Lille. Alan Virginius, you've got Lee Hadji, Angel Gomez, who was at Manchester United, Jonathan David, Jonathan Bamba, Adam Unas, Timothy Weah, obviously that's a name that is very familiar, and Mohamed Bayo. So yes, a team that has a few players that are 30 or over. Jose Font, obviously, is 37, so he's the leader of the team. You've got Ismaili at 31. You've got Remy Kabaya, who is 31 also. Jonas Martin. But you do have that blend of experience with youth. Timothy Weah is 21. Mohamed Bayo is 23. You've got some 19 and 18-year-olds in the team. I think they're a great mixture of experience and youth. The finances are good. The club is good. I think they're a team that could go and challenge pretty soon if you go and rebuild them in FM23. So then, those are my recommendations for 5 teams that you could go and rebuild at the start of the FM23 cycle. All of them pose very different challenges. The 2 promoted clubs are going to be especially difficult if you take those on. I really want to hear from you in the comments section down below. I think that also in terms of the bigger teams, Lille are ones that are certainly ones to watch in Football Manager 23. Monaco also have an interesting squad. I think France is a league that you can go. Obviously, it's dominated by PSG. You're probably playing for best of the rest. But if you can break the dominance, it'll be so rewarding. Right then, I'm going to start wrapping this one up here. If you're at this point of the video and you're still listening to me, firstly, a big thank you for watching and listening. Secondly, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button already, please consider doing so. It helps me get the videos out. It gets them to so many more people, and it really does help the channel. I appreciate you taking the time to come here and interact with the channel. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Come join me again on another video soon.